If you want a professional looking video podcast or live stream setup, lighting matters more than the camera you use. The lights you choose and where you put them are the real secret behind that pro shot. So in this video, I'll show you the top lights that creators are using, and we'll break those down into 3 categories, from the most cost-effective beginner lights to prosumer to the professional lights studios like ours use every day. That way, by the end, you'll know exactly what lights fit your space and your budget, and you'll confidently position them the right way, even if you've never done lighting before. Welcome to PSS Creative Media. I'm Steven, author of the Video Podcasting Playbook for Professionals. We help creators build pro studios at their home or office and handle the editing and content distribution. If you want to work with us one-on-one, go to pss.media. Okay, so here's how I'll break this video down to make it super helpful for you. First, we'll take a look at the coolest lights, the budget-friendly lights that we recommend for almost all creators. Then we'll quickly take a look at some more advanced professional lights used in bigger studios. And finally, we'll finish up by teaching you how to actually position and set up the lights, where I'll show you the only lighting rules that you actually need, no boring specs or fluff, so that way you can look amazing on camera every time. These insanely affordable lighting options and very simple lighting techniques will give you a more professional shot using an iPhone than most creators capture using a $5,000 Sony camera. Okay, so let's start with the most cost-effective and work our way up from there. You'll be surprised, even at the prosumer level, it's still super affordable. For this, we'll look at the shots that you actually get through the camera with both a solo host setup for myself and Veronica, as well as a co-host setup with Veronica and I together, so you can really get an idea of what these lighting setups will look like for you. And for that extra special cherry on top, we'll also look at an above shot of the same pose, the same lighting setup, so that you can actually get an idea at what distance and angle from the talent you should set up your lights. So let's dive right into it, but before we do, we've got to talk about the first light that all creators buy.
The ring light.
Like, do you remember the first experience we had with ring lights?
Yes.
And what was it?
It was like, wow, we're beautiful.
Right?
The difference between not having good lighting to having a ring light.
So here, the only light we currently have in the room is the ceiling fan light. So here is just the room light, and then here is the ring light. And the really brightness is kind of, I think, what we started. But notice the ring in her eye there. So yeah, I mean, I think that a ring light is a great place for creators to start, right? It's really cool because it's super affordable, but in my opinion, however, now that we've experimented with those LED panel lights, wouldn't you say that an LED panel light is a better option?
Yes.
But of course, with an LED panel light, you have to get 2 of them. You know, this is popular in the beauty industry for a reason, because it does eliminate all the shadows on your face, which that also is not common at all in filmmaking or any other kind of television, because of the characteristics that it gives the scene, which is why we don't use ring lights anymore.
Also, it's very harsh. Like,
it's very harsh and kind of hard to look straight at too. So it's cool if you want to make a quick little vertical video and things like that. But now that the panel lights, like the ones we're about to look at, have become so affordable, that's no longer a big selling point of these, because it used to be that these are super cheap.
yeah, also, if you wear glasses, this isn't the light for you.
Okay, so ring lights,
They're out.
and that's mostly because LED panels have become so affordable, even comparable to some of the ring lights that you'll get. So ring lights are really just for content curious folks. They're not really for those who are going to be making content on a regular basis. But when you're not using a ring light, the minimum light setup that you're gonna need is gonna be a 2 light setup. But let's quickly talk about light setups. Yeah, I like the walking. Let's start over here with our top picks for LED panel lights, and we're gonna get into these and look at different setups and configurations of them. But what's important to know is that your primo light setup is really going to consist of 3 different types of lights. But there's really kind of 4 different types of lights that you would take into consideration when you're building your scene. The first is a key light. That's your main light. It should be your most powerful one. And that is typically placed about 45-degree angles off to one side of your face, a little higher than your head pointing down at you. The next light is going to be a fill light. This fills in the other side of your face from the shadows that are created from your key light. Now, the third consideration for a light that you'll need is what I like to call a room light, and that is something that is just going to be an ambient light that sort of fills up your room, a light that you use for your backdrop to bring that backdrop up so that your scene looks really nice and lit. Those are the 3 main lights, but there's actually a 4th type of light, and the 4th type of light is what I actually like to call on-camera lights. These are things like neon signs in the background, like what we have here, or even lamps. Now, a lamp is a really cool way to bring in some more personality to your backdrop, and many of us like to have lamps on a bookcase or on a desk behind us. But here's where a very important consideration comes into play, and that is color temperature. Now, don't freak out. Color temperature isn't that hard to understand. Really, you can just think of it as daylight versus warm. If you go to the hardware store, for example, and you're picking out light bulbs for your house, daylight bulbs or warm bulbs. Now in the world of photography, what we're dealing with is actually a Kelvin meter. And the most common light that we are gonna use is 5600K. That's just the daylight color temperature. So many of these LED panel lights come in as a bicolor light. They allow you to get that daylight temperature or a warm temperature, and sometimes actually all of the different Kelvin numbers or settings in between. The reason for that is so that you can match your panel lights with whatever light happens to be going on in your room. In this way, if you need to use the overhead lights in your room or a little daylight coming in through the window, you can actually adjust the panel lights to match and just eyeball it, or like Veronica says, al ojo, to try to get your panel lights to be about the same color temperature as your room lights. But if you want to get really fancy and really precise, you can pick up one of these puppies. This is an aperture bicolor light bulb that will actually go into any standard light fixture you have, and you can get the daylight temperature or the warm temperature. In this way, you can screw this thing into a lamp that you have in the background, and it will be that same precise 5600K that you get from your LED panel lights. The main consideration is to keep all of your lights as close to the same color temperature as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can do it al ojo, but try to get all of the lights as close as you can as possible. But as I mentioned, if you're just getting started, you can get going with a 2-light setup. And we're going to explore the LED panel 2-light setups first, and then we'll add the 3rd light or a big key light into the mix and show you the different configurations of how you would set those up. And you'll actually be able to see the real shots that Veronica and I get for both a solo and a co-host setup with all of these different lights. And if you want a nice easy list of all of these lights bundled into packs and their Amazon links, just comment lights right here where you're watching, and I'll share that link with you. All right, so first up with our 2-light setup are the BR13s by Neewer. These puppies go for about $50 US right now. Again, you can type lights in the description and I'll send you their Amazon links. These are the only lights we're using for this light setup in this room. We have these evenly placed to each side of our face. We get a nice even shot, no strong spotlights for both Veronica and I. And also in the same configuration, we get a pretty decent setup for the two of us together in a co-host shot. Moving up from this, these are probably my all-time favorite lights. These are the Neewer LED 480 panel lights. They come in a 2-pack, which is amazing. But with these lights, you will also need to purchase the 2-pack of Softboxes that come with these lights. Again, comment lights and I'll share the link, but these are perhaps a touch softer than the panel lights. See what you think here with both the shot of Veronica and myself. Notice there's a very soft light on our faces, not a strong spotlight. We're really well and evenly lit. This is the perfect setup for beginner content creators and crazy affordable. But as I mentioned, a real primo creator setup will need to have at least 3 lights. So for this, let's get a really nice, powerful key light into the mix and look no further than Neewer's new LED round panel bicolor light. This baby is amazing. Now using this shot as our key light, we can combine it with the 2 BR13s, and this will be a top creator bundle that'll really help you light any scene you have. Notice here in this shot of Veronica, we have the big panel light to one side as a key light. We use one of the other baby round panels to the other side of her, and then finally the other round panel isn't shining on her at all, but only shining on the background. If you then look at the shot through the camera at what this does, now we really have a fully rounded, amazing shot. The background has really come to life. We really have a lot of color, and the shot is looking primo. And you'll see with my shot, there's also that same experience with the same light configuration. Now these 3 lights will also help tremendously when it comes to the co-host setup. And take a look here from the above shot. Now we can take the big panel light and put it in between us right in the middle as one big fill light, you could say, that will evenly blast light on both Veronica and I. Then we can spread out the 2 BR13 panel lights to each side and take a look at what it looks like through the camera. Both of us are a lot more evenly lit and the background has really come to life. There's a lot of color and light and detail in the image. And for the final pack, and this is really our top creator pack here, it's the same situation with the panel lights and Softboxes, the same configuration. We use the big key round panel light to one side, one of the Softbox panel lights to the opposing side, and then one of the Softbox panels to light up the background. This is the same solo host configuration for both Veronica and myself, and you can see that these shots truly look detailed and amazing. This is all you will ever need to video podcast and create here on YouTube like a pro. Now with the co-hosted shot, we do the same thing. The round panel shot in the middle not only blasts light here evenly on Veronica and I, but it will also help you to blast light into the background as well. And that's why when you look through the camera at this final co-host shot, the background is still nice and lit up, and it's because that key light is so bright and it is evenly blasting throughout the whole scene. You can play around with these different light configurations and also microphone configurations and camera configurations inside of our really fun Studio Builder app that we have integrated into Podcast Your Way. Just go to podcastyourway.com to try that out.
Pretty cool stuff, right? The technology of these lights has become so impressive, and we've tirelessly compared them to the lights used in top studios and on film sets. Especially the panel lights. It's so impressive to me that they don't make a huge spotlight on your face, and they're very soft without needing a softbox. And remember, I've compiled a really helpful list with all these different light configurations and their Amazon links with the extra little doodads, softboxes, and stands that you'll need, as well as information and quick tips. Just leave the comment lights right here where you're watching this video, and I will share that link with you. Okay, so now let's move up the ladder and take a quick gander at the professional light setups. As it turns out, even these pro lights now are relatively affordable. I think you're gonna be surprised.
Now, the main reason a professional would advise to upgrade from this, or why they would want to, really just has to do with shaping your scene and having control over the direction of your light, as well as the power of your light. These LED lights are not going to be as powerful as a COB light. COB lights are much more powerful, can really light up a scene. They're a single big light source. However, these LED round panel lights from Neewer are insanely powerful and are the first LED panel that I've seen that really starts to rival these COB lights, especially when you use a COB light with a lantern style softbox like this. But we're gonna get to that. So really with these LED panel lights, you can't really shape the light. They're really just gonna splash light everywhere. And for a professional who really wants to build a scene for filmmakers, they want a light that's a lot more directional, that can fill up just the background or just what's in the foreground or the subject without splashing light all over the scene. And the way that you achieve that with a COB light is by using softboxes. There are so many wonderful and fabulous and very affordable COB lights that you'll find on Amazon. My top pick is the Amaran 100D, or really any light from Amaran or Aperture is gonna be really great for you. What's really cool about these, as I mentioned, is you can attach any number of softbox styles to these lights. The reason I like the 100D compared to other models is it's very affordable and plenty powerful for most cases, offices, home setups. But when you graduate to using a COB light like this, you are going to need a heavy dutier stand, like a C stand. And that's because once you start attaching big softboxes to this thing, they become very top heavy and can topple over with the flimsy Neewer stands that you get with the LED panel lights. So you gotta get a C stand. Now these C stands are heavy duty enough and heavy enough by themselves that they'll usually be just fine in all you need to really support the weight of your COB. But if you have animals, dogs, or small children running around your setup, then you may really want to get some sandbags or some type of weight that you can drape over the feet of the C stand here. Notice when I loosen this here, it kind of pops up. The one on the top also does a similar action there. And then you have a joint here where this can spin around, and another little attachment here that allows you to move this arm around in any position you want. These little elbows are really cool and handy, and that's why C stands are kind of the Swiss Army piece of equipment used on film sets, because you can attach all sorts of things. A good heavy duty C stand could run you $100. So that's why we start to now step more into the professional level of things. So attaching your COB light to the C stand is easy enough. Slip it on here and tighten the screw right here and attach it that way. And I'll show you a little tip in a second that I like to use with these COB lights to attach the softbox. But first, let's talk about the different types of softboxes that we like to use and the ones that I would recommend for you to get started with. And really the only two kind of softboxes that you're gonna need. The first is the lantern style softbox. Again, I'll have the link for this and the different softboxes. If you type lights in the comments here, I'll share it with you. Notice this lantern has all these little Velcro pieces around it. When you purchase this lantern softbox, it comes with a black drape, so to speak. You could basically flag off or cover just the side of it, so it doesn't blast the light over your entire scene, but that it just directs it towards one little spot. However, these lantern lights are amazing for one really important use case, and that is for a co-host podcast, most certainly. And that is because they will blast a ton of light when used with these COB lights and fill up your whole space evenly if you put them far enough in the background. In fact, behind me here, I have one of these going on right now. And that's how I've been filling up this whole scene. It makes shooting really easy. I can walk around, and I know that as I walk around over here, that I'm gonna have relatively even light hitting me from all directions. So this is really perfect when you have two people who are going to appear on camera for this to be your main fill light. And then each host can have their own key light. And if you want to get really fancy, each of their key lights can be the next type of softbox on our list, the parabolic softbox. Notice in the front of it, we have this grid. It breaks up the light, reduces a little bit of the power of the light, but it also makes the light a lot more directional. In this way, you can aim it downward toward your subject and it will only hit your subject. It won't really fill up the background. This is a really cool way that you can keep your background dark if you want to. If I wanted to maintain a dark background effect, I wouldn't want to use a light like a lantern light. I would want to keep the light in my room dark and then just use one of these on me. And I'd have a really intimate look. The background could maintain a darkness and I could have my sort of on-camera lights in the background for that edgy kind of dramatic look if that's what you're after. So if you do want to be able to shape your scene and you are after that dramatic, cinematic, professional look, these parabolic softboxes are amazing and recommended by top professionals and creators here on YouTube. Now this grid is actually Velcro on the outside, so it's optional. You can take this grid on and off. You can have a stronger light that isn't going to be as diffused and it won't be as directional. It will actually be more of a spotlight that blasts over a larger area. Now, one final thing I'll say, if you really just want to fill up your entire scene like you would with one of these lantern softboxes, that's where now these newer LED round key lights really compete with these quite a bit and can become a much more simple way to achieve that same thing because they are very powerful and in our experiments just as powerful as what this does. This will, however, blast the light a little more all over the place, a little more in a spherical type shape than this will, but not by very much. So that's it. Those are the two type of softboxes that I would recommend using. If you really just want to shoot for the best of the best, go with the COB light and go with one of these. Make this your primary key light for every participant, every person that's going to be on camera. If you're doing a solo podcast, you only need one. If you have two people, get two of these and two of these Amarans, and then get a lantern softbox for the fill light. Put that in between your host and your co-host, and then put these on the opposite side of both hosts, and you'll be looking primo. And you'll thank me for it and give me a thumbs up here, I'm sure. So finally, I'll show you my little trick that I've learned with these Amarans to get the softbox on here in a way that doesn't frustrate the hell out of you. What I like to do is actually remove the light from the stand first. While the softbox is on the ground, this is how I like to attach it. It has 3 teeth on the guy. These also have little slots for those teeth to fit in. Those teeth go in there and they spin and they kind of click into place. And when it comes time to remove the softbox, it has a little button here that you press and that will raise up the locking mechanism inside of this and allow you to spin the softbox back out again. I also like to remove the softbox in the same fashion. So I actually get down here on the ground, I plop it down like this and just start spinning until I hear it click into place. And then look, now it's one thing. It has a little handle on the back of it, so I can carry it. That's a much easier situation than trying to hold the softbox and kind of spin it on while it's on the stand. Now it's as simple as just adding it to the stand the way that I did before. Know that that's all the way inserted. We just screw it real nice and tight. And now between this handle here, which will loosen up the light, you can angle the light this way any way that you want. But you also have your elbow here on the C stand that you can loosen. So in this way, you can get the light any way you want. You can angle it down, angle it up. You can then loosen the arm here as well, so you can raise the light or lower the light. You can get it exactly where you want. And now you've got a heavy duty stand that will hold your light into place. And you're gonna look professional and delicious on camera. If you do get a new light setup that you've used from this video, please let me know here in the comments. I would love to know if I've helped you in any way. And I would love to celebrate your new show and your new channel as well too. We are here to help you see you succeed and go places with your show. So make sure you subscribe and keep coming back every week for more helpful and hopefully fun videos.
And there you have it. Now you're ready to capture a truly amazing pro shot every time you record. But now you're gonna need to choose the perfect camera for your video podcast or live stream setup. And that can be an incredibly daunting task, except you're at PSS Creative Media. And I just put out a really helpful video right here where we cover the top cameras used by creators right now for video podcasts, live streaming, and YouTube. Again, starting at the most budget friendly, working our way up to the professional options. You're gonna wanna check this out.